following is a presentation of Relentless Podcast Network.
This is a clip from an IVMV live broadcast, which airs every Saturday at 10 a.m. on our website, www.ivmv.com. Click on the live broadcast button to watch. You can also watch through the Ustream iOS and Android apps. The audio podcast version of the show is available on iTunes, Stitcher, Pocket Casts, Intune, and many other iOS and Android podcasting apps, or directly on our site. Thanks for watching, enjoy, and go Cubs. All right, so in the last year or two, on the first episode of the seasons, I don't know if we did it 2 years ago, but I know for sure we did it last year. We looked at some of the statistical categories and predicted the over-unders for the season, so we're going to do that again today. So let's start things off here since we're talking about the bullpen. Carlos Marmol and his save number. He had 38 in 2010, which I'm sure you remember is his big strikeout season and everything. And then in 2011, last year, he had 34. So 38 to 34. I'm going to set the over-under at 30. And I guess our listeners that are in the chat right now can, maybe throw your numbers out too. I'll try to keep an eye on it.
Okay. For me, I'm going to say over 30.
Really?
So I'm going to be kind of optimistic.
I'm going to this totally cold. I've not prepared anything at all, so I could say some stupid things here. Just my disclaimer. But I'm going to go over two, not because I think he's going to pitch really well, but because he's going to have so many opportunities.
You're going over.
I'm going to go over. He's going to blow some saves, but he's going to have so many save opportunities.
Mike, a little bit. Yeah, like that.
That
Sorry.
he'll accumulate 30, but not without a ton of blown saves.
DeRose says under in the chat.
What?
Also, Colorado Cotton, he says, anybody else getting a Saturday Night Live Bears super fans vibe?
You got to chew those chops.
Jeremy, what do you say?
I'm going to say under with the Cubs. Yes. I think
But over maybe for a season
over
total?
maybe for the season total, but with the Cubs under. I think that's one of our trade pieces there. And I have to say this, if I'm down on anybody more on this team, I don't know who that is, because
Wow.
Marmol's my sore spot.
Well, you can't be mad at Blake DeWitt, I guess.
No,
So.
well, I mean, as far as guys that have had any potential
Right.
at any point in their career.
Yeah.
He's the
Or any
fly in your
success.
ointment.
Yes.
Yeah.
I'm going to say under, and because I this is pretty negative and pessimistic, but I don't really see him figuring things out. He didn't the whole second half of last year. He hasn't spring training. I don't think he's going to be our closer, and I hope to God he returns to his 2010 numbers. I'd love to see that, but have we seen anything at all that indicates that's going to happen? I don't think so.
No.
I heard something as I was listening on the radio. They were talking about him throwing a lot more fastballs, and that was to try to regain velocity on the fastball, which, the slider's his best pitch, but if there's no difference between the two, you're losing the effectiveness, and I think that's what's happened to him more than anything. He's always been wild. He'll always be wild.
Yeah.
And if you don't have the velocity difference between the two pitches, that's where he's going to struggle.
Yeah. Well, staying with the bullpen theme here, let's look at blown saves. I guess we're
That's an easy transition.
Yeah. So last year between Marmol and Wood, they had 16, and in one game they have one this year in 2012. So let's just say 16 off last year's numbers between those two, and let's look at. I guess we'll look at the bullpen as a whole, but
Total blown saves for the whole bullpen.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Which for the most part I think will tend to be those two guys,
Right.
but we'll see.
I'm going to go with slightly over on that one. I think, once, when Marmol struggles, I think that the next guy's not going to, if it's Wood, he's going to blow a few too. So I'm going to go with slightly over.
Yep, same for me, slightly over.
Same here, and the loss of Marshall factor in there too. Not like he was a big save guy, although he will be for the Reds apparently. But
Yeah.
that was another top bullpen guy. So I'm going to go slightly over also.
It's going to be irritating to see the Cubs go against Marshall.
Yeah.
Yeah, well,
DeRose predicts 35.
35 blown saves.
more blown than more blown saves than saves.
Or maybe he's saying,
That
that's
must
how
have
many
been.
saves. Okay, I'm behind here.
For Marmol.
Yeah.
Let's hope that's what he means.
Yeah.
35 losses, team losses attributed to blown saves. Holy moly.
Oh man. It's hard to keep an eye on this game chat.
Well, you haven't chimed in with your over/under yet.
Okay. Well, again, I hate to be pessimistic, but I think it's going to be over. But I'll go at it from a different direction, though. I think
Didn't know there was another direction.
Yeah. I think one reason for the blown saves will be that I don't think the Cubs are going to generate very many runs, and so I think you're going to have a lot of lower scoring games and so the margin for error will be a lot smaller. And instead of going in, 5-2 or whatever.
Therefore, more save opportunities.
Well, yeah. Well, I think that if they give up one, like we saw on Thursday, you give up one run, you got the blown save. So I think there is going to be a lot of like one-run games to where all you got to do is give up one and you're done. So I don't know.
that.
That's why I think there's going to be more blown saves.
I just made something else click in my head of my earlier prediction of Marmol. That
Sorry.
I don't understand what you.
The mic part is.
Oh, this I need to be the side of it.
Yeah.
All right. So if they can't score runs and the starting pitching isn't that great and the other team's putting up a lot of runs, maybe he won't have that many opportunities and therefore there won't be very many saves or blown saves because they're going to be down 6-2
Yeah.
or 6-1-0, whatever.
So maybe our two things will equal themselves
Right.
out, and then
So-
it'll just be normal.
So it'll look like a pretty good season, but in reality, they only had 30 save opportunities
Right.
the whole season. So
Right. I could see that. All right, let's look at LaHare home runs. He had 38 last year with Iowa, and then in the Winter League, he hit 15 home runs in 46 games. And by the way, in those 46 games, he hit 414. Pretty impressive. Of course, it was the
Winter League.
Venezuelan Winter League, but let's with 38 last year, let's drop a significant amount, but let's put the over under at 17.
17, I'm going to go with over. I don't really have anything to base that on, but I think he'll get slightly over that personally. And that means that he'd have to not struggle with back problems too much.
yeah, that's about what I was gonna say. Over if he can stay healthy.
I would say over, and we have no idea how many at bats he's really gonna get. So
Yeah.
I'll say over.
I guess that means I set the over under too low, but I think it's all going to come down to how long he is the starting first baseman too. In addition to his health, how long is he going to be in that spot? I think he'll hit just over that, just shy of 20. I'll give him 19.
Sounds like a good number.
I guess. I don't know. Okay, here's an annual prediction.
Is this the big one?
Starlin Castro errors.
Oh.
He had 27 in 2010, and that was not a full season. That was his rookie season. I think he had like 120, 125 games, something like that. Last year, in a full season, he had 29, and so I'm just going to set it at 29. Is he going to get better than last year, or is he going to be worse?
I think I'll take the under on that one, but not by much. Like I think he'll get close. He'll be in the 20s, I think.
I'm gonna go with over, and I think this is gonna be the most errors he's ever had in a season.
I thought you were going to say in Major League history.
No, not in Major League history, but in his Major League history, because
So you think he's getting worse?
well, I don't know. I think he's about the same, but I think he's going to get charged more errors because he doesn't have Carlos Pena, who's a very good defensive first baseman, saving him on a few. Or, he doesn't have a veteran first baseman that's going to be able to snag, that's easy 5 errors right there, addition. For a first baseman that when it's those borderline calls, it's up to the scorekeeper to say,
Well, and Castro's kind of got that reputation.
Castro is the one who made the bad throw, and if the first baseman just doesn't snag it, well, that's on Castro. So I think he's going to get charged more errors, but his play will be about the same. It's just the number will be higher.
Yeah, I can buy that. Jeremy?
I'm gonna go along the lines with what Andy said and say I think slight improvement. If you remember last year, they really hammered him on a national broadcast for not really paying attention to what was going on. I think maybe that's something he may have focused on in the off season.
Yeah.
So I'll say slightly under. I don't ever think he's going to be a
Gold
guy,
glove.
yeah, or a guy under probably 20. You know,
Yeah.
he's probably going to be in the 20s. So
Yeah. I'll kind of agree with you guys, echo what you're saying, just under. I kind of guessed 25, which would be, a pretty decent improvement. And maybe they'll pull in the reins a little bit as far as what he tries to do out there. Maybe not. I guess that doesn't make much sense, but
I mean, oddly, the trend is that the right to him, easy throw to first place, those are the ones he makes the errors on. When he has to make the diving off balance throws, he tends to make those plays. So,
and that may be, part of that attention thing. Keeping your mind on the game. And
yeah.
I wish he wouldn't chew gum anymore. I really get tired of watching him chew his cud out there. that gets old, but if it helps, go for it.
I missed somebody here says under 20 errors on Castro.
I hope so.
Wow.
I hope I'm wrong, but I have a feeling it's going to be
That
right.
is
BK Smith too says that.
That is a sunny
Or I.
outlook.
And then Colorado Cotton, he says maybe 30 or 31.
Ooh.
Yeah.
I mean, you drop 3-4 in a game, you add up quick.
He's on the same page as Kurt.
Yeah.
UK Bob says 18.
Wow.
I don't know. All right. Let's predict. This was an issue for the Cubs last year with the pitching staff staying healthy. We obviously lost 2 starting pitchers in the first week, basically. What do you guys think will be the date of the first missed start by a starting pitcher? And I will set the over-under, I guess, at May 5th. Cinco de Mayo. Kind of thought that would be a good date. I don't know. So a month, basically. Can they go a month without missing a start?
I think they'll go slightly over a month. I'll take the over on that. It's going to be close, so I would say maybe mid-May. And I hope not. I hope they can go a while here without having to dip down. But it's not as big of a deal now if they have to dip down to Iowa this season as it was last year.
Yeah, I'm going to go over that too. No rule.
When does Zambrano start? I don't know. Who knows? Yeah, I'd probably go over, I guess.
Yeah.
And but it isn't, like Andy said, it isn't as big a deal this
Yeah.
year. I think we have a little more depth.
Yeah. I think I'm going to go out on a limb and say it's the end of June before they miss a start. And I'm not saying like somebody like full on the disabled list either, but just, he's going to have to miss a start. But I think, I don't know why. Hell, who knows? You can't predict injuries, but I just think they're going to maybe do all right as far as health goes this year.
You're going to be healthy but awful? Is that what you're saying?
That might be what I'm saying.
Maybe that's the theme.
That's not a sentence, though.
Yeah, true.
Well, I mean, they seem pretty sturdy. Like some of the guys, they seem pretty hardy and sturdy fellows.
Hardy, sturdy, healthy, and awful.
But
Your 2012 Cup.
Hardy.
Yeah.
I have a banner.
But like Mahalam, for example, has had some recent injury issues, and so I could see maybe him being, having trouble at some point. But who knows?
Yeah.
He's the one that's in the hyperbaric chamber all the time or whatever.
Right.
Have you guys heard about his oxygen chamber thing he does?
I have not heard
Wow,
about this.
Oh, okay. I don't know much about it, but apparently he does some sort of therapy where he sits in he has this oxygen chamber.
Giant bubble.
Wow.
His bubble
Does he have
boy.
never mind. I was going to make
Was
a
that
stupid joke.
It's like
Yeah.
Tony Stark at home.
Michael Jackson's estate auction. You got that out? Yeah.